And I'm live, and the lighting's bad. It's not gonna be good, like at any point. We'll just live with it. All right, so if you're watching this later, my name's Sangeeta, and I live stream on Fridays, and we'll just hang out and see if anyone else shows up. So just give it a minute. Awkward first minutes of a live stream. Hello, I'm good. I've had a kind of a weird week, like where it's just been like off the whole week and I can't focus on anything, but I'm ultimately good. How are you? I'm just setting up my computer. Good, I'm glad you're good. I have a confession in which I did not actually listen to the album this week. I just didn't have time. So I might not be as well equipped to talk about the specific album. So we can talk about it, the songs that I know, like off the top of my head, or we can just talk about Britney Spears in general, whatever you want to do. I just did not have time to give to anything this week. Up to you. I realized that there's a lot of songs on the album that I just didn't remember very well. We can talk about general Britney Spears things, sure. So my first experience with Britney Spears was, I wish I should have brought it out, but at McDonald's drive-thru, I'm pretty sure, I could be hallucinating, but they gave out a CD that was like half Britney Spears, half NSYNC, and that was the first Britney Spears CD I owned. So, that was like second grade. So I've been listening to her for a long time. What songs do I remember from In the Zone? I remember Toxic, of course. That's Me Against the Music and Every Time. I think those are the big ones that and Outrageous. I remember that song very well. Then my cousin had a copy of her third album and only the first half of the record would play, but the first half was enough for me to fall in love with her music. I like that story. That's nice. I don't know. There's like a charm to that. The first like full album I ever owned, like not the McDonald's drive-thru thing, which I think that's where I got it, was Oops, I Did It Again. And that was like the first album I had that was mine. Like that wasn't something my parents liked and passed down to me. That was the one my parents bought because it was something that I alone in the family wanted to listen to. It sold out like on Urban Outfitters. I think that's one of the ones I snagged before. I think. I have like 2 Britney records on the way. I have one arriving Monday. Checking my email to see what yeah. I still have, is it 2? Yeah, it's 2 different Britney records. Let's see. I'm not gonna be able to find it. I don't know. I'm a mess today. How do I remember it? Like, how well do I remember the songs and everything? I remember, like, choreographing my own dances to them, like, really vividly, and then my, like, dad walk in and be like, what are you doing? I'd be like, nothing. Just dancing, because I, like, really wanted to be famous as a kid, and I thought I would be a singer and dancer just like Britney Spears. So I used to choreograph, and, like, in the song, Oops, I Did It Again, you know, like, the spoken word part, like, I thought the old lady dropped into the ocean at the end or whatever. I used to dramatically, like, say that. It was really fun. I think a lot of people did that. Yeah, I think a lot of people want to be famous. I don't think I do. Like, I just don't. The Titanic scene was iconic, absolutely. It was like I'm acting. Like, I'm showing off my acting range when I would do them. I'd like to be, like, I'd like to have an audience. Like, I'd like people to watch my stuff, but I don't really want fame. That sounds like a lot. Favorite Britney record? I think I would have to say Oops, I Did It Again, just because of the sentimental value of that album. Like the entire thing. And I think it's quite good just all the way through. But I do like at least a couple songs for each of her albums for sure. I'd be a great radio. That would be like my dream job, honestly. I wish I could be a radio host. Um, People listen. They have privacy. That is kind of like ideal. Like in the old days, like 10 years ago, I wanted to be like a well-known YouTuber because they like weren't mainstream at the time. But now I don't want that. Any record I haven't heard in full. Let me pull up a list because I feel like there's a part of Britney Spears's like career where I wasn't paying attention to her as much. So I want to like make sure I'm not missing anything. Like a couple of years ago, I just didn't listen to her as much. It was her like early 2000 stuff where I was like really, really following her. And Crossroads, have you seen out? Or have you seen out? Have you seen the movie Crossroads? Because that movie is iconic. Absolutely. Okay, let me find her list of albums. Okay, Glory, that came out 4 years ago. My goodness. Um, my friend Haley and I watched Crossroads somewhat recently, like last year. I think we had a movie night and watched it. And it's a lot like darker than I remember it being. Like, I don't even think it was that bad though. Like, I actually thought, like, maybe I'm biased, but I didn't think it was like that bad. And like, I thought it was fine. Like, well, like, isn't Zoe Saldana in it and like Taryn Manning? And like, there's heavy material in it. Like, I didn't remember any of that. Like, all of that just like went over my head when I was little. But like, I thought it was good. And I liked the music in it. It was like an all-star cast, to be honest. Studio albums. Oh, Britney. Like, Britney, that album is also one of my favorites. I just thought it was like a little bit edgier, and I thought it was really cool. People judge it more because it was Britney's movie. I'm sure that's true. Like, I literally remember in elementary school people making fun of her voice, and me like eternally being this person that was always like, she's actually very talented. Like, that's always me when people make fun of pop singers in any capacity. But Britney Spears is talented. I think we've talked about that, like how she sings, like how she has her voice, and then she was told to sing this certain way. I don't think she was that bad though. Like, I watched it recently and I felt like it held up for sure. I hate that Britney has to change her voice to the baby voice. I agree. I was listening to a compilation of her like singing when she was younger, and she was so talented. Like, that voice that she had was such a big voice, and it was such a beautiful and strong voice. And then she like, I don't know why. Like, do you know, was she told specifically to use the baby voice, or did she just like, I don't know. Thoughts on the Free Britney movement? Like, from what I know, it sounds like she needs help, but like, I don't really know like the really deep stuff about it. I like over the years kind of followed it, and because people have been saying this for a long time, but I don't know like the details. I've never seen like any official documents about like what control she actually has, but like, it does seem like she needs some kind of help. But I don't know. Okay, so she has, yeah, I read that. Like, she can't choose where to spend her money. She can't choose like where to go or anything like that. Like, she can't have a child if she wants to, like, without asking permission, like things like that. I did hear that part, which is just a lot. They treat her as if she's mentally ill. Yeah, like, didn't it happen like sort of around the times she shaved her head or something like that? Like, that was used as an excuse or something. But on the other hand, she's enough in control to work. That makes no sense. Yeah, because she has like TikTok and stuff. Because I remember, like, I'm not doubting any of that, but like it was just kind of interesting to me that she was able to say like, we'll send you diapers, we'll send you money, but she's not in control of her like finances. I just want to know who's making those decisions. She shaved her head because she was in too much control. She had no she had no control over her life. She was a puppet. Yeah, I mean, um yeah, I think that's a common theme with like famous young people who grow up in the spotlight. Like they don't feel like they have control over their lives. And she was famous, and I think is in like a way that very few people actually achieve. And I don't know much about her parents, like as individual people, but I don't know. It just seemed like an interesting kind of environment to grow up in. It just it doesn't sound good. Like I'm open to somebody being like, "Oh, she's okay, whatever," but like it doesn't look good. Like the optics are not good, and it looks like she needs help. I'm 100% sure they keep her in control and tell her they'll take away her kids if she doesn't do what they want her to do. I'm sure it's something like I don't know. She just doesn't seem like she's in control. Like how much she's in control, whatever, like that's up for like I don't know as much about it, I guess, but like there is something off. I think that is not a debate. Like there's something off, and there's something that like she needs help in some way. And I think she's so talented, and I really like her, and I've just like it's really sad to see, I think. But hopefully that can be figured out soon. She has so many pictures and videos where she is chained or in a cage. She is dropping so many clues. Yeah, like I think like a lot of people who have grown up like famous, like Miley Cyrus or whoever it is, like they've grown up being famous. Like they've also had that thing, but like they've been able to get out of it. But Britney seems like she's yeah, like people are saying they've given her drugs and like to sedate her. It's just so sad. Like I don't know. I feel really bad for her. Um, I don't know what I don't know. Is it her dad? Is that right? The one that has the control over her? You could clearly see she was drugged in 2011. She looked different. Yeah. Even now, like, I don't know. She every video I've seen over the past like 6, 7 years or whatever, she seems like as sweet as ever, but like so kind of like loopy a little bit. It kind of makes me sad. Her dad is not officially in control, but in control. Okay. He's ill? Interesting. I'm gonna like look this up while we're typing. He hired somebody. Who did he hire? See if there's like a summary somewhere. He hired someone who is known for stuff like that. Conservatorship's gone wrong. That's wild to me. Like the amount, I don't know, like it goes so deep and I don't know. I would just feel bad for her. I can't imagine what it would be like to be like that, like be in that situation. The judge is also weird. Wow, it looks like there's a huge rabbit hole that I need to like dive into. Manager Jody Montgomery acting as conservator since 2019 after her father resigned. Drawing 1.1 million in fees for the service. Like that seems unethical. Like to be able to collect money for being in control of somebody, like that seems not ethical. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that anyone can deny that something's wrong. Like these are like I'm looking at this article and it's like the facts are she's had a 12-year conservatorship. Wow. 12, and in that time she's released 4 albums. the Vegas performance residency. She's launched fashion and fragrance products and judged the X Factor. Doesn't seem like she needs to have a conservatorship. It's saying they're reserved for individuals in a coma or severe mental illness. She cannot drive a car, vote, get married, have children. Having children seems so invasive, like as a thing. That's wild. She can't spend her own money, speak publicly about it, and more. My goodness. I guess Miley Cyrus has also rallied behind the Free Britney movement. That's so sad. Like, she is, like, honestly, Britney Spears is really talented. And, like, beyond that, she's obviously, like, a human being who deserves to be treated well in life. But, like, she means a lot to so many people. And it just makes me sad to see her, like, not be able to make her own decisions. I don't know. There's something about, like, I don't know, not being allowed to have children without permission that's just so, like, disturbing to me for some reason. We will never know what happens in the music industry. It's a dark place. I agree with that. I don't know. Like, I know a little bit about, like, things that come out and, like Kesha's situation, for example, and how people say that's not really that uncommon of a situation. So I can imagine. But, like, how come that everyone has some kind of mental breakdown at some point? I don't think the human body is designed to go through that kind of pressure, like, to be famous. I don't understand. Dr. Luke is still working as Made in China. It's crazy. I saw that he did. Yeah, he worked with Doja Cat, which is, I like that song a lot. So it's kind of sad that he worked on it. And didn't he work with Kim Petras a lot? Like, a lot? I don't know. I didn't realize he was still allowed to, I don't know, work that way. I don't know. I just feel like he didn't really get any. Yeah, he is a good producer. Like, that is a fact. But, like, I wouldn't allow him to work with people or, like, young women, especially after what he did to Kesha. Like, I would never. He worked on every Kim song. Yeah, a lot of people talk about that. I don't know what Kim has said about Dr. Luke, but it's, like, it's just a sad, kind of scary world. I don't know. There's a lot I feel like people don't know, including me. Like, I don't know exactly what I'm referencing, but, like, I feel like there's a lot about the music industry and what it's like to live in it that's just kind of horrifying. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine. I believe Kesha. I do believe Kesha. I do. Like, I just think, I don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that it wouldn't be true. Like, that she would lie. And I know I'm a big Kesha fan, but, like, everything she said and, like, the people who backed her up and, like, that sort of thing, it just seems like, yeah, exactly. Like, if I didn't already just believe her because I believed her, a lot of people did back her up, saying, like, you know, like, exactly like you're saying, that he isn't a good person, like, judging his character, like stuff that they know and have experienced. I think Kelly Clarkson as well, like, lots of people who didn't have to say anything but did because they believe her too. Katy Perry denied everything. Oh yeah, I remember all of that. Because, like, Kesha was texting, like, Lady Gaga about it, and, like, those texts were used in court or something, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know. Like, I don't know what Katy Perry said. I can't remember off the top of my head, but, like, I just think it's important to remember, like, just because somebody had one experience with somebody, it doesn't delegitimize someone else's different experience with that person. So I don't remember exactly what she said. I do like Katy Perry, but sometimes I just think she should, like, take a breather before she talks. Katy Perry isn't successful since she stopped working with him. It's weird. Katy Perry is somebody who, like, I always kind of root for because I think she's talented. I think she has, like, a unique voice, and not just, like, physical voice, but, like, a unique brand within the music industry, and Teenage Dream I think is incredible. Of course, I'm working on a video about it, but I don't know, like Teenage Dream was really strong, and Never Really Over I thought was quite good. Like I think that's a really good song. You like Katy Perry's music, but you don't feel like her. She made fun of Britney's breakdown. She did. She seems like an American Girl, but in the worst way possible, like in the Mean Girls movies. Yeah, I mean, I haven't thought about that, but like I do see what you mean. I understand like what your description of her is. I don't really know that much about her. Like I didn't know she made fun of Britney's breakdown. So that's not, like, obviously that's not good. She acts super relatable, but isn't. I feel like embracing your lack of relatability isn't a bad thing. I think that that's actually fine. Like, Lana Del Rey's not relatable, but she doesn't pretend to be. So many celebrities made fun of Britney's breakdown. Yeah, a lot of people did. I do remember that. Because even now, I'm always like, don't make fun of people for stuff like that. And like, but I remember back when all of that was happening, people were brutal to Britney. And like, they still are. Like that meme people always say where like, if Britney survived whatever year it was, you can survive today. And I'm like, I don't know that that's like great to say, but like every like comedian, every like late night host made the same like tired jokes. Imagine being in the public eye and having the worst time of your life. Yeah, like imagine the worst day you've ever had, like the worst thing you've ever been through. And imagine literally millions of people feeling that their opinion on it is necessary to voice. And I just can't imagine that. Like, I don't know, when people do something and everyone on Twitter feels like weighing in, I mean, I agree that people can weigh in on situations, but like, I don't know, just like think about the impact of your words a little bit. After all these years, people bring up that breakdown. Yeah, imagine that being a thing that defines you. Like, I'm thinking of my own, like, mental health past, and if, like, the worst I've ever been mental health-wise is something that people made fun of and continually brought up, it would have made it harder for me personally to, like, move on from it. Like, I don't know. I just can't imagine that level of pressure. I don't know. I mentioned, in my Electra Heart video, I mentioned the song Lucky, and I've been listening to that song a lot lately, and it just I don't know, it's so poignant for what we're talking about. Have you watched her documentary, For the Record? It's really good. I have not. I'll add it to my list. For the Record. Lucky is so sad. Yeah, I used to really like that song, like, and I still do, but I used to just listen to it casually. But then when you listen to it, it's like, and really listen to it, it's very sad. Can second For the Record being great. Cool. I wonder where I can watch it, but I will definitely do that. I've been trying to watch more like music documentaries and stuff and learn more about stuff like music and music industry and artists that I like and stuff during this quarantine time, so I will look that up. Animal documentaries. I haven't, like, I've only watched music documentaries. Like, if I'm not, I don't know, if you don't know what I'm doing, it's a safe bet to say that I am, like, watching old episodes of Behind the Music on VH1. Like, I love that stuff. Favorite Britney video? Let me think. I know, like, I always just say, oops, I did it again all the time, but like that is iconic, and I used to try to learn that dance. Like, I used to watch that music video over and over. I don't know, like that era was really good for her though. Like the music video for Toxic is also iconic, but yeah, the oops, I did it again one. But the Toxic music video I watched today, and it's a lot crazier than I remember it being. Hold It Against Me is one of her best music videos, but people don't appreciate it as they should. You know, I haven't rewatched that lately. but I probably should. I was looking up music videos, and then I was watching the Oops, I Did It Again one, and then I got distracted because I was trying to learn the dance. Hidden meanings. Okay. I will keep that in mind when I watch it. What's your favorite Britney album? I didn't ask you. And anyone else watching, weigh in. Like, feel free. I'd love to know what you guys like. Because I like a lot of her songs, and I like some of her albums quite a bit. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, for me, the reason I love Britney Spears is like the collective thing. In the Zone, that's why we decided to cover that album. I know I didn't do a good job of listening to it this week. Yeah, it's been a week. But but I will listen to it. I'll post about it on Instagram. I do like it though. How old was she when that came out? I remember seeing that she was quite young. 2003. I had a feeling you wouldn't get into it. I'm not mad. It wasn't like on purpose. And it wasn't like I listened and didn't like it. I just didn't listen, which is maybe like worse because I didn't do the one thing I said I would do. But yeah, I didn't have time. I listened, but I didn't have time to like listen to it, like get into it and think about my thoughts on it. But regardless of the album as a whole, Toxic is an iconic song. It's not just for Britney, but like for music, like pop music, I think. I think that's fair to say. Like everyone knows that song. I think. It's that's why it's good to choose an album we both know so we can talk about it. Yeah, that's true. We can do that for next week, I think. Because next week I'll be streaming, but I might take the 31st off. We'll see. I honestly think Blackout is her album I'm most familiar with as a whole because I really wanted to support her comeback. Yes, I am very supportive of Britney Spears' comebacks in general. Loved her growing up, very young when In the Zone was out, and was still pretty young when Blackout dropped. Blackout, that's also a good album. I was remembering, as we were talking about albums that we like, that at the time that Circus came out, I really enjoyed that album a lot. Blackout had a bittersweet taste for me. I liked the leaked song. Which leaked song? Ugh, leaked song. Which leaked song? Circus? What year did that come out? Because I feel like that came out at a time where I just, like, I guess somehow really related to the themes of it. 2011. Yeah, so like right when I was in college. Forgot all about it, but Circus was my ringtone on my... Do you say Envy? ENV too? I don't know. I live for Circus. That is a good album. That might actually be one of my other favorites. So we have Britney, Oops, I Did It Again, and Circus. That's like ones that I really liked. Yeah, there's a lot of like hits on here. I really like the song Circus. Like where I was at the time in my life, I just like related to the song of like being not, I don't know, like being observed and like not feeling like, I don't know. I really like that song. I actually do like the song Radar, so. And Womanizer is iconic as well. If You Seek Amy is great. I didn't get the title for like a while. And then I got it. But it's a good song too. But yeah, Circus does have a really unique sound. And I really like that sound. I don't know how to describe it right now. You needed years to get Amy. Yeah. I don't know. I was like 19. How old was I? 19 when it came out. I'm like still innocent in many ways and like don't always get puns. Aw, Dr. Luke did make a lot of these. That's okay. I don't know. It would be impossible to enjoy so much of pop music that I like, including like Kesha. If I just cut out Dr. Luke entirely. He said it out loud, it didn't help. Max Martin also produced a lot of these songs. So that's a producer that I do like. Britney is listed as a writer on 2 of these songs. 2? That's cool. Max Martin made her biggest hit. Wait, okay. I don't know if I've talked about this or if you guys know, but there is a musical based on the works of Max Martin. It's called And Juliet, and it's a version of Romeo and Juliet where Juliet survives. And if you ever want to hear like a version of Overprotected by Britney Spears, it's like a medieval like remix. Check it out. It's so weird, but I love it. Like, it's so good. I don't know. I just love it. I was listening to like a Broadway thing on Spotify, and like that version of Overprotected came on. I was like, what is happening? I recommend, even if you like hate Broadway and never want to learn about this musical, just listen to that song from it. But it's interesting because listening to the soundtrack of that musical, I was like, Max Martin did a lot of songs. Like, he's been around for a while and producing a lot of songs. But yeah, I totally recommend And Juliet. I used to love those parody videos where they would do Beauty and the Beast as a musical, but with Britney songs. I did too. I used to love those. Yeah, those were really good. Who did those? Were those Todrick Hall? There was like a genre of YouTubers that were like Todrick Hall and like some other people who did a lot of like musical type of stuff. I don't know. I remember those videos. I really liked them. There was a Taylor Swift one. I think it was Cinderella, but Taylor Swift. I remember that. Those were some glory days of YouTube. Key of Awesome. Oh yeah. I miss the glory days, like what I call the glory days of YouTube, like so much. I was thinking about that the other day. Like when no one could make money, so everyone just did it just because they wanted to put videos on the internet. Those were some good times. YouTube was really good, I think, like in 2013. Like, I think that was a really good time. Because people made like tag videos, people made challenge videos, people did all this stuff, but you could also monetize it. So like there was just the perfect balance between like people making whatever and still doing it like just for the sake of it, and like where people who could make some money from it and could use it as a career booster. It was like the perfect balance, and then went too far in the money direction. It felt like having a geeky friend. YouTube, like back in the day, like the reason I'm on the internet all the time, like I used to be, is because I wasn't good at being social when I was in high school. So it was like a way to meet people who had the same interests. And yeah, actually on your point, it's like TV, but on the web. Like Bo Burnham, who, if you don't know, he's a really good stand-up musical stand-up comedian. He's great. He's really smart in the way he talks about like YouTube and online culture and just like entertainment and everything in general. But he's talking about how when he started on YouTube, because he was originally a YouTuber, he thought like in 10 years, like Oscar-winning movies would be produced on this platform, and that it would be just this amazing like hub of new ideas and new techniques and all this stuff. And like now it's just like still the same thing like as Nickelodeon or like Disney or whatever, because I don't know, like it's morphed into the same thing where like, I don't know. I think you're absolutely right. American YouTubers is like watching a reality show. Yeah. Yeah. Like with the worst rated IMDb movie is a YouTube movie. Is it Shane Dawson's movie? Is that the worst rated? Is it? I want to know. That's my guess. Is it Shane Dawson's movie? Not cool. There are some pretty bad, like you do. No, a German movie. Okay. I think Not Cool is pretty bad though. Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah, there's a lot of, and the thing about YouTube that I always forget, which is like ignorant of me, but is that there's it's so big. Like there's so many, like every country has their own, like obviously like their own people that was like huge YouTubers like in different languages and different like categories, because like I would go to VidCon and I would meet somebody and like have no idea who they were, but they're like, no, I have 2 million subscribers. I'm like, it's a big world out there. It's really bad. The German movie was really bad with YouTubers. I haven't seen that many like YouTuber movies. I'm thinking about it. I've seen like commentary videos about some YouTube movies. Like I watched Pretty Much It, their YouTube channel that does commentary tracks for movies, and they review some like Fine Brothers, like those guys make movies. I feel blessed that I speak a few languages and see the difference. I wish I spoke more than one language. I wish like commentaries are okay. Yes, Pretty Much It is the only commentary channel that like holds my interest and I think adds something. Because I've watched react videos like for music videos and stuff where people just sit there and that's it. They just sit there and go. I'm like, that's how I react to stuff, but like I don't always film it. It's so hard learning a language. My French still sucks. It takes time. Yeah, I don't have patience. That's my problem. And I need to have patience. But I want to try to learn. Like, I did French in high school, so it'd be cool to, like, learn it again. And see if I remember anything. But I've been thinking about learning sign language, like American Sign Language, just because I think that'd be useful, because I don't think a ton of people know it. So maybe I will try to learn some of that. I just think it would be a useful thing to know. You love reactions. It's like hearing music for the first time. I know most of the reactions aren't real, but I'm okay. Yeah, I do like, isn't there like a difference though? Like sign language is different. I thought there was like an American one. That's what somebody told me. But if it's international, it's great. Yeah, reaction. I actually do like some reaction videos. And by reaction videos, I mean like where people talk and like say stuff and like do stuff. When people just sit there, I don't find that fun. Maybe the grammar, yeah. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I've tried to look up. Wouldn't make sense otherwise. Yeah, I'm sure it's just like some terminology or grammar or something. I'll have to look it up. I've tried to find places online to like learn it and maybe places in person, although in Corona times, don't want to see anybody in person. But yeah. I do need to learn a language. Sign language doesn't pay off. I need to learn a language. I don't know. I wanted to try to learn some languages because I was originally going to be doing a trip to Cambodia, but like obviously that's been canceled. I just thought it'd be cool to like learn some words of the language, but it's kind of hard to find a reliable resource, and I don't want to learn the wrong thing and then like look really dumb. Learn a language you can use. I'll probably learn like polish up on like French. I don't know if any of my friends speak French or Spanish. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out because like I bet being conversational is like the only way to like really pick it up. Maybe I'll try to learn Spanish again. I learned Spanish for like 6 years when I was little. That could be useful too. I could learn German. My boyfriend knows some basic German and my best friend knows some basic German. Actually, she probably knows more than basic German, but yeah, I could learn it and speak German with them. But German is amazing. I don't know any of it, but like my dad also knows some German, so I would have resources to practice with. So, and it's like a common language, like, so there's a lot of resources. I can talk with you in German. I should try to learn a phrase like every week. I can talk, yeah. Oh, full live, that would be that's a lot of pressure. But I could try to learn like a sentence every time, and you can tell me if I'm pronouncing it badly. That'd be kind of fun. Like, I think German would, like, that would be a cool language. And my friend, she like likes a lot of German media and stuff, so she always is recommending stuff like that. So, like German language things, so it'd be cool. To like be able to read them or listen to them without relying on subtitles. It just like hid your comment. It wouldn't like. Yeah, I love that Lady Gaga song. It's actually one of my favorites. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll learn. Oh, I didn't realize it meant that. German grammar is very hard. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm not going to try to pronounce it today. I was okay at like pronouncing French. I was not great at pronouncing Spanish. So we'll have to see if German is the language that like clicks with me. I wanted to like go to grad school in Germany for like a minute because like there's a I don't know, there's some cool opportunities to like study anthropology and archaeology there. But I didn't go to grad school. Your French pronunciation improved so much. I just like I'm good at like mimicking sounds. So if I hear stuff a lot, school here is very hard. I guarantee your school is harder than mine. I don't know about college, but like college was like decently hard, but high school was not like I didn't do good. Like, and I have no excuses for that, but like even compared to like my cousins who went to private school over on the East Coast, my education was not quite as regimented. I don't know anything about Canadian school, actually. I mean, I learned stuff. Like, we had to take tests and like learn stuff. It wasn't like totally free for all, but I just don't remember it being like, your cousin lives in Canada and she used to have all A's and she didn't know anything. Oh, I didn't really pay attention. My problem was I never did homework because I just didn't want to. It's terrible. Don't do what I did. If I could do anything, like if anyone watches this who's still in high school, don't do what I did. I just didn't go. I didn't have like an attention span. I had like all of these like, I don't know. High school wasn't a great time for me. So I just like didn't pay attention. I like wasn't focused and I didn't do that well. Really a lot of my high school classes, I really feel if I just like paid attention and just at least turned in homework, like even if it wasn't like the greatest work, I still would have gotten an A, and I just like didn't, which is a big regret. But I also had a time where I was really bad at school. Yeah, high school and middle school. Yeah, not great. Most of my school, not great. College was good for me because I could take classes that I was interested in. Like I had to take statistics as a math class, but I didn't really have to take any other math classes, and that was a subject that was hard for me. So I could just take like anthropology and film classes, and I like took scuba diving, and I took, I don't know, I took a class on like French cinema and like stuff that I really wanted to learn about. I took one about Wes Anderson. I took history of rock music, and I got to learn about stuff I wanted to learn about. And that was what changed for me. You don't have that separation. You change school once. For us, so there's like pre-elementary school, which is like, it varies depending on where you live and like what your parents choose to do, but like it could include like preschool and kindergarten. And then you have elementary school, which for me was grades 1 through 5. Over here it's like grades 1 through 6, so it just depends. And then middle school is either 6 through 8 or 7 through 8. And then high school is 9 through 12. And then you go to college for however many years you go to college for. So, or you don't. You don't have to go to college, I guess. There's lots of legitimate jobs. Elementary is 1 through 4 where you are. It's interesting. I always think like little different cultural things are so interesting to hear about, like the day-to-day stuff. The rest is just one thing. I don't know. We like elementary school and then like high school. I know in England they call it like college, I think. And then university is like what we call college. I think that's right. I'm not sure. Little like mundane differences from country to country I think are just so interesting. Like day-to-day things I just think are so cool to hear about. I miss school too. I wish I could go back to college. Not high school. Not at all. No, I really liked college. I like learning about like anthropology and like there's a lot of cool opportunities in college that like I don't have now. And I wish I had taken advantage of them. But yeah. Part of me wishes I could redo high school just to like do it properly and like I don't know, not have as much anxiety socially and like so much worry about things and like to have more confidence, but like well, when was the time in my life where I kind of discovered myself? I think like age like 19 or 20. It was around the time, it was when I was in Portland for sure, because that was a lot of freedom in my life. And I was just writing about this actually for the video about Red that I'm writing. But like when I moved to college, and I think this is the same for like everyone when they first move out and if they're moving out to go to school before a job, it's like a weird in-between phase where like in high school, a lot of the stuff that you do like doesn't necessarily have permanent lasting consequences forever, like even though you think it does. But in college, things start to like feel more permanent. You start to have like these moments where you feel like you're growing up and all of that stuff. Like it's like a weird in between where you're still in school, you're not like, you don't have a job, you don't have all that stuff, but you like kind of get to be a kid in some ways, so like a little bit reckless. And it was like a cool time to experiment with my life and like try out things and like travel and explore. And I don't know, the like little bit of recklessness that I let myself have when I was 19 and 20, I think paid off ultimately because I learned a lot about myself and like what I like and stuff like that. Where you are, no one moves out till university, and if the university isn't far away, you don't move until you're done. Some people don't move. It's like pretty common in America, I think, to like move out when you turn 18 and go to college or just move out. Although these days it is changing because my generation and people younger than me are like, it's not a good time in the US. I don't know if that's obvious from the outside. It's not a great time here, like financially, like economically, socially, anything. So a lot of people can't afford to move out and just choose to live with their parents and save money. I did that actually. After college, I moved back in with my parents. I stayed there for a few years and then I moved to where I am now. So I'm also Indian, and like Indian culture is a lot more like you can stay with your parents and it's totally fine. So I don't know. I think it makes sense to stay home. Like you save a lot of money that way. Like I wish I didn't have to pay rent. I kind of think if you have a good relationship with your family, you don't have to move out. Why spend the cash on rent and stuff? Yeah, I agree. Like I think it should be more normalized to like, if you get along with your parents and like feel good living there, I think it should be normalized to stay. But I don't know if this is like the same globally, but in America, like some parents are very much like, okay, you're 18, bye. Like you're moving out. Like some people say that and I just can't fathom it. You live free from your family for most part of your life. And for me, it actually worked out because my parents were pretty cool. Like once I graduated college, they were like, okay, we did it. Like we succeeded. So I moved back and I got a job, that I have a car, and they just kind of let me Like if I was staying out till like 1 a.m., they didn't really say anything as long as I told them more or less what I'd be doing. How connected are parents to their kids in America? Do you mean like how involved are they, or like that kind of thing? I'm trying to think how to answer. Because for me, emotionally, okay, so again, I'm Indian, so I definitely have like a unique experience. My parents moved to this country, and like my mom's from India, my dad's grew up in England, but they're Indian, so they're like culturally, it was all very fresh when they moved here. So I've kind of been in between two cultures in some way. So for me, very close to my parents and like very much involved with my life. They definitely are. And I just like my parents in general. A lot of it depends. Like some people I know, like their parents and them are like on great terms, like they'll hang out, but they're not like friends, I guess. Like once I became an adult, my parents and I like became like more like friends. Like I'm still their daughter, but like we just chat, talk about stuff, hang out, whatever. But I don't know. I think most of my friends have pretty good relationships with their parents, but I don't know if that's an accurate like representation of like the country as a whole. America's huge. I don't know if you've ever been here. And I know like realistically like you can look at a map and know that it's big or like look at the square footage, but like it's huge and like different regions of the country might as well be different countries because of the cultural differences. So, I don't know. America's a lot. It's great when your relationship with parents turn out to be a friendship. Yeah, like my mom and I, like we don't get me wrong, like high school was rough, but I don't know, like we both like worked to like improve ourselves and met up again as like adults. I feel like when I moved back in and just like got along pretty well. Like we don't even really fight ever anymore, which is like really nice. My dad and I are so close now. It's really nice. I really like my parents. They're pretty cool. I kind of see America as one unit. I don't know, never seen it as individual parts. That's so like interesting because like there's no reason for you to think about individual like states. But there's 50 official states. There's Puerto Rico and Washington D.C., which should be states. And a lot of them are very different culturally. Like when I moved from the West Coast to the East Coast, it was like a culture shock. Like such a big difference. So, I don't know. I would say if you divided the country into like fifths, like each of the coasts, you could divide it in half, and then the middle of the country. So those are like 5 separate like cultural units. It's very different. California, like every time I go out to LA, I'm like, I'm in a different world. So different than DC. Most people in America don't see Europe as one country. They say Italy, France, etc. When you see the US, you just see the US. Yeah. I don't know. I like I don't I don't know. Like being in America, I know the cultural differences. I know like the different accents. I know what a big country it is, like full of lots of different types of people, but like I don't know. I understand why people in other countries would assume like a lot about American culture by watching TV and movies. I think that's very reasonable. That's probably more thought about it than a lot of Americans put into how they view other countries, to be honest. Most people I know are like pretty cool, but I've been reading about Americans traveling right now to Europe and then like just not being good at all, and it's like really embarrassing to hear about. Any parts in America where you want to go, haven't seen? I would love to one day drive across the country because that's like great American road trip. That's such an iconic adventure, I guess. But it takes like a week. Not like a week of constant driving, but it would take like a week to like go, look around, sleep somewhere, get up and drive more and all of that. But I'm trying to think. I would love to go to Nashville. Actually, that's the one place that I haven't really spent that much time in. 1 week isn't that bad. Yeah, it's like, I think that's the usual time. Like most people I know who have done cross-country road trips, they take about a week and just drive across, slowly stopping at places, like sleeping at a hotel somewhere and then continuing on the next day. But most people I know that have driven across the country have done that to move. Like one of my really good friends is moving here, so she's driving across the country and just like taking the opportunity, which is really cool. You'd need more time in Europe. Yeah, I have no idea. I personally really like driving, as long as I'm driving with someone who will let me pick the music. Because for me, driving's fun because you can pick the music and you can like blast it and sing along at the top of your lungs without worrying about bothering anybody. So, yeah, that's what I like. Music is the worst part. Like, I have gotten more into like listening to podcasts but on long drives. You always hated driving with your father. He plays cover songs, like exclusively cover songs. That's very specific. Podcasts. You don't like podcasts? Oh no. There's so many podcasts out there that, like, I never go looking for podcasts. I have like 5 that I listen to regularly. Yeah, I like my podcast too. Sometimes if you start, like, if you're on a drive with someone and they're like, I want to play my podcast, and then, I don't know, I don't know. I judge people sometimes by their podcast choices. You're listening to a French one? Oh, that's a really good idea. Just like if I listen to podcasts in other languages, like yeah, a music podcast. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I listen to Reply All, which is a cool podcast about internet related stuff, and like they do a lot of like, they call it super tech support, but it's like internet mysteries sometimes. Which is pretty cool. There's an episode of Reply All which is music related, which you might like. I can send it to you. It's about a guy who like had a song stuck in his head that nobody else could remember, and in the process of trying to like figure out where this song came from, if he had made it up, if it was actually a real song, they learn a lot about the music industry. So I'll send that to you. It's really good. It's like one of the, because for me, like anything that's like behind the scenes of the music industry in any way is like, I love it. So I will send that to you. I actually have to go. So I'm going to sign off now. I'll send you that podcast episode, and then yeah, next week we can plan on Friday. The movie without Beatles music. Oh, yesterday. Yeah. I enjoyed that movie, but I understood the criticisms as well. What record do we cover for next week? We should do one that we both know, like we said. I don't know. I can't think right now. We could also pick like an artist in general. Lust for Life. Let's do Lust for Life. That's perfect. I love that album. Is it really? Like, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. Well, yeah, let's do that. Let's do Lust for Life. And that's one, like, I think a lot of other people will like too, so hopefully people. Oh, and also, like, Katie and I, like, nothing's official, but we were talking about, like, some Lana-related videos together, so I thought you would want to know. But nothing official yet. Oh, thank you about the Electro Heart video. I was really proud of that. I worked really hard on it, and then yeah, I'm glad the audio turned out. Yeah, I don't have any more information about like the thing Katie and I are working on, but I'm excited. It's just an idea right now, but we definitely want to make more content together and talk about Lana and all that we like to do. So hopefully that will happen somewhat soon. Yeah. All right. So I will talk to you next Friday, same time, same place. And thank you. I love Katie's video. She's so good. All right, I'm going to sign off, but I will talk to you next week. Have a good week.